Hey guys, and welcome to the Igloo, and today we're going to be talking about hitboxes inside Apex Legends and the amazing work that Spooky Spy did for his rigorous testing, especially in everything that we've been seeing so far. So, in these character sheets, you have Wraith, Lifeline, Bloodhound, Mirage, Bangalore, Pathfinder, Caustic, and Gibraltar in succession of order, as well as later on in the video that he has mentioned that different ways of just aggro standing still animations versus like while you are running like a unit in that kind of way. We've already known that Gibraltar was the biggest hitbox, but it's very interesting to see the actual hitboxes when you're just standing still for every one of these legends, operators, or however you want to see fit, as well as just going around back and forth. And this is going to be very interesting, especially because Wraith almost has half of the surface area than what Gibraltar has. And then it just goes down in with succession, and because of her animation, as well as her Naruto running animation, she has the smallest hitbox. She's like the Ashe main in Rainbow Six Siege, except for she's crouching at all times, no matter what. So she is one of the hardest operators slash legends, or whatever you want to call it, to hit in specific succession when it comes to Apex Legends in every regard. This is why her pick rate is one of the highest in any kind of team situation, because her hitbox is so small in the first place. Again, it's literally a meme at the point where you have the smallest hitbox because of her animations. This could get easily fixed. Instead of her actually acting like Naruto or anything else, that she stood up properly, like Lifeline, which is the second smallest legend that you could actually have when it comes to Apex Legends, and getting everything else done in that way and regard. Because all the other small operators are generally around the same surface area when it comes to it. I mean, it could vary because of their poses when they're standing still, but again, nobody's really going to stand still and shoot you, mainly, especially because you have a weapon out, you're going to be going around, you're going to be dodging, sliding, and everything else. So again, this is a big factor because of their surface area when it comes to just having that kind of saturation and everything else. So between Lifeline, Bloodhound, Mirage, and Bangalore, they're pretty much all the same height. And then it immediately jumps up to Pathfinder, which is the smallest out of the largest unit operators out of this. Then you have Caustic and Gibraltar, but Gibraltar's just a gigantic hitbox, and I don't even know like how you can be competitive with Gibraltar when Wraith is literally half of your size in this game, as well as crouching and everything else. As well as there's going to be a few other things that I'm going to be talking about, like there's different ways to manually select your server so that you don't have to deal with potato internets or anything like that, especially if you're NA and you want to set up your team. Like, it's very easy on console, which is just, 1, you wait 2 minutes on the title screen, 2, you enter the accessibility settings, and then you exit and then press R3. It's really simple. Choose the closest server to you, or the closest server that you think to you as well. Again, it's based on ping. PC's pretty much the same, except for you like have to wait 60 seconds upon startup, then you hit escape and cancel at the same time. So the data setters would show up at the bottom. It's like a little cheat sheet instead of just like quick play, where you can join up on whatever. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of disconnects, and that's mainly because they're operating in like different regions as well. So you got to find the closest data center to you. You mark that, and you might need to also discuss that with your team if you're random queuing in like a Discord or something like that before you're finding people in its entirety. And it's going to be like that for the longest iteration of time, because a lot of people are going to be having that issue because of these random disconnects that you've been having to their servers. And as a final note to all of this kind of setup is that, 1, look, I'm going to be completely factual for you guys. If you are going to be playing on EA servers, you're going to be having EA shit when it comes to most of this stuff. Most of these network drops and network connection errors and client-side viewing and all this stuff is accessible but they had to work around the system that they were provided upon, as I'm talking about for Respawn. If Respawn had to deal with something on the similar level of cloud compute of AWS, Amazon Web Services, like what Fortnite does, as well as other games where they are very software dependent, like Fallout 76. Fallout 76 also uses AWS, but because the service is so like bad when it comes to software engineering, it's not the server, it's the software at that point. You don't really get the full capabilities of AWS when it comes to their server providers. Again, this game will be God tier if they just fix a few bugs and then they go to AWS services where they actually have a very big competitor. And the most annoying thing that I've been getting so far is just the disconnects. It's been almost every 3 games that I had a team or teams of people that would be disconnected for that kind of setup and other things that would be like really needed when it comes to that kind of setup. Now, again, we're going to be having our first content leak coming around like the 4th to 5th of March when it comes to most of what we're going to be finding out. A few people have been hinting it, as well as people have been trying to find out the battle pass. But people have also data mined like a few things when it came to like leaked names that are going to be coming for Apex Legends. So you're going to be having Nomad, Octane, Prophet, Hazuria or something like that, Jericho, Rampart, Blackout, which I think that's going to be changed because there's going to be a copyright on that name, Crypto, Rosie, Scunner, and Watson. Now, personally, this guy in the article thinks that they're going to be Bloodhound. No, that's the ones that we have. That he thinks that Nomad is going to be doing something different. I personally think that Nomad's going to be wall running because they've also leaked that we're going to be having wall running being enabled, maybe possibly in a future mode, maybe a limited time mode or something like that. And Prophet is going to be like predicting, which again Bloodhound already does, so I think he's wrong. I think it's mainly going to be an RNG finder or a scanner of some sort so that you can look for better loot, maybe possibly as a passive. But again, there's going to be all these things where you're going to be finding different iterations of what can be done when it comes to this type of game. And I personally think that this guy is pretty wrong when it comes to this kind of information because it's all led on assumptions based on name or like because of like Mirage's brother Jericho or something like that. It doesn't make sense. So personally, I just take it at face value and I just take it for the names. The names could change and they're probably going to be some OP characters. Now, if there is wall running like there is on the leaks, it would be completely and utterly nutty when it comes to some of these plays that you could be doing. Because a wall running mobility character that has a hitbox like the smaller characters that are in his video for what Spooky Spy did for his own testing. So let's say you have a wall runner that's the same size as Bloodhound. That utility alone is going to be extremely vital, even if there's a cooldown for the wall running, because you have to like get up your inertia or something like that. In that kind of regard, it would be so crazy. But again, I didn't want to make direct comparisons to anything until somebody actually tested for hitboxes that are in the game. And that's why, personally, I say Pathfinder, it's pretty bad, and it's on the same level as Gibraltar, because where his legs are touching, like the hitbox joins, and even though it appears like he has a like very, very hyper skinny legs, it's not the case. His hitbox has one of the highest center of mass shots amongst all the other operators, even bigger than Gibraltar when it comes to height, not width but height. So it's very interesting in that kind of regard. If you guys like this kind of content where I just hodgepodge a few things for news together, especially for some of it that was fan found instead of like articles all the time, please leave a comment down below and have a good one, guys.
The high ground. Let's seize the high ground.
I'm just trying to figure out where the fuck they are.
I know, it's fine. It's better they get the